Hi guys, I'm back by popular demand. It's story time with James in the gorgeous Valencia chair. Just a quick reminder of that chair they sent me. Oh, absolutely gorgeous chair. I have to admit, you subscribers have spent more time in that chair than I have. From popping by and having a little sit in it. This is probably the only second time I've had a chance to have a little sit in it. So, reason for story time today is I've had a message from a subscriber this morning, and obviously I get lots of emails from you guys looking for help and advice and so forth, and try and respond to as many as possible. This one particularly stood out, and it really got my goat up. As in, I really wanted to do something about it, and let me explain to you why. So, obviously I won't use the chap's name, out of respect for the situation, because it's ongoing. We've got to see how it goes. But I had an email from a subscriber. And he was telling me about a situation where he'd sold a car privately recently. So we're talking about an £800 car here. And the reason, just what I'm going into this with you guys, I think it might help a lot of you, because a lot of you in different situations might have come across these kinds of people. And this will tell you how to, in my opinion, how to deal with them. And in my previous experience, both within the corporate world and within this business, how this normally gets rid of these type of people. So the situation is, he sold this car privately for £800. He's put a brand new MOT on it before he sold it. He's had the car himself for nearly 3 years of driving, I think. Getting on 3 years of driving. It's a personal car, genuine personal sale. And like I say, before he's gone to sell it, he's done the right thing, put a new MOT on it. Had one advisory on it for, I think, corrosion on the front discs, maybe. So puts it up for sale, and this chap comes along with his wife, and apparently the car's for his wife, views the car, and immediately the subscriber says that the guy had a little bit of an attitude he wasn't too keen about. He had a look all around the car, and he asked, had the vehicle been written off? And our subscriber genuinely said, oh, I don't know, actually that's a check I never did on it. So the chap gets his phone out, does a quick check on it, and finds that the car was previously Cat D registered. So, like I say, our subscriber was unaware of that, and the guy looked at that and said, well, okay, you know, that could increase my insurance. And our subscriber did again the right thing and said, well, if you're worried it will increase your insurance, perhaps you should do that check before purchasing. So the guy carried on anyway and decided he was happy with that, then took the vehicle for a test drive, negotiated a little bit of a discount as I understood it, and took the car away. All good. But then our subscriber 2 days later starts getting bombarded with text messages about the vehicle. And this chap is kicking off saying that the vehicle is unroadworthy, and that he wants a refund on the vehicle. Well, actually no, I think he doesn't say he wants a refund. He wants something like £600 back, actually. He doesn't want to bring the vehicle back, he wants £600 back. So our subscriber says, well, you know, that's not something I'm willing to do. You know, you're just telling me it's unroadworthy, you know, what's the score kind of thing. And instead of giving him any information about what the problem with the vehicle is, the guy just continues to bombard him with messages saying he's already placed a small claims court against our subscriber, that he's going to take him to court. He does this and he wins cases, he doesn't have a problem doing this, he knows what he's doing kind of thing. And then just, like I say, continue bombarding, wanting this I think it was like £600 back he wanted. I might be incorrect about that, but he didn't want to return the car. He wanted an amount of money back. Anyway, our subscriber, understandably, sort of ignores a lot of the messages because it's getting on top of him a bit, being bombarded all the time. And then another message comes from purportedly his wife saying, you know, sorry about this, but he does know what he's doing. He does it all the time. He's taken several people to court and he wins. I've talked him down, and it'll take £350 to put this to bed. So the subscriber at this point, obviously, he hasn't experienced this before. He's not a dealer, he doesn't sell a lot of vehicles, he doesn't come across these kind of people very often. And he messages me, sends me an email and says, James, you know, can you give me a piece of advice? Send it via Instagram, which I always recommend you guys use Instagram, because that's, you know, if you send me text messages on the business line, they're too long for me to read and reply to. Emails get lost. Instagram, I normally pick up all my messages on Instagram. And, you know, like I said, I'll try and help where I can. Now, having read the story on this one this morning, it really it worried me this guy was being bullied into a situation, but I wanted to get the facts on it because obviously there's two sides to every story kind of thing. Although I'm not going to obviously speak to these people directly, I wanted to find out a little bit more information. So I actually said I'd give him a call this morning, which I've just come off the call. I wanted to check a few facts. So I wanted to check, you know, was a new MOT done on the vehicle? Well, firstly, I wanted to check, is he a dealer? You know, I asked him how many cars, you know, he's selling per year. How many cars have you got for sale at the moment? He only had that one car for sale. He didn't have any other cars for sale and hadn't sold any other cars within that year. So the reason I checked that is because under the, as far as the law is concerned, a lot of people think you have to sell 5 or 6 cars before you be considered a trader. No, the thing that considers you, the law considers you a trader is if your main income comes from selling vehicles. So I wanted to check how many he'd done and whether you have any others for sale. So he's clearly a genuine private seller. So I'll put the chair back a little bit while I do this. Get my feet up a little bit. Relax a little bit more. There we go. So I wanted to check that, and you know, he's genuinely a private seller. So that obviously, if he was considered a trader, then a whole different set of rules would kick into place. But he clearly was a private seller. So I want to check when was the MOT done, and the MOT was done less than a month before he sold the vehicle. He isn't a mechanic, so it is fair to say that he's reliant on the MOT station on giving him a report on whether the car's roadworthy or not. The vehicle passed, just had the advisory for the surface rust on this, which could be from it just sitting around. So I checked that with him. So I also then checked, so with this guy, when he told you and messaged you and told you, I said when he came and viewed the vehicle, was there anything you put in the description of the vehicle that proved to be untrue? He said, no, not at all. I said, when he checked the car was cat, did he accept the car was cat and carry on looking at the vehicle and then test drive the vehicle after? He said, yes. So I said, okay, so he's accepted the fact it's cat as well. It's not his responsibility to do any further research on that. The guy's accepted that it is. And he's offered him the opportunity to check things like insurance and so forth. So, and we are talking about an £800 car at the end of the day, guys. Anyway. So I checked those things out, and yeah, he test drove it, he was happy with that, and he negotiated the price and he took the vehicle away. So then I checked, when the complaint came in from this guy, has he provided you with a report from another MOT station or garage to say the vehicle's unroadworthy? And he said no, he's given me no report at all. I said okay, I said, has he sent you a letter before action before he's put this small claims in against you? Which he said no. So if you read about this, if you're going to put small claims in against someone, you have to first give them the opportunity to deal with the situation, and you do that by sending out a letter before action, and that has to be done before you place a small claim. Otherwise you could be wasting court's time because the person might have been happy to mediate and do a deal with you. So if they haven't sent you a letter before action, then they're really on a sticky wicket straight out of the gate. This chap, turns out, also told the customer, that the subscriber, that he'd recorded the conversation he had when selling the car. Now you have to wonder why he recorded the conversation in the first place. Now he's actually legally allowed to record him without his permission, but if he then provides that to a third party, it becomes a very sticky situation on a legal standpoint as to allow him to do that. He shouldn't. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, so some of you probably know more of this than I will, but I do understand that when you then give that information to a third party without permission, then it becomes a bit of a sticky wicket. I'm not sure what he thinks he's recorded anyway. So anyway, so he sent no letter before action either, and he says he's just put the small claims in. Now this is the key trigger for me. Now anytime anybody says this to you, you know straight away you've got a bit of a chance on your hand. He says that he has, I think he said he had a barrister on standby that he uses all the time. Now, you don't have a barrister on retainer if you are buying £800 cars, sorry, you don't. Unless you're buying, obviously, huge volumes of them on a trade basis, maybe, I guess you might have. But in my previous experience within my the corporate world, you know, you did have threats of litigation quite regularly, and it was normally from people that had the, no disrespect, didn't have the kind of income to have people on standby. You don't have legal people on standby. The costs are far too high to do that, just for the off chance you're going to do a case once in a blue moon, unless you are litigation mad and doing it all the time. So this guy's provided him with no report from an MOT station or from a mechanic to tell him any of the mechanical faults of the problem that make it unroadworthy. He's given him no letter before action to tell him that he's got a problem and will be taking him to court. and he's just bombarding him with messages. And then you've got this strange situation where his missus comes in and suddenly the price, the amount they want drops quite quickly. Now all of this to me stacks up to someone that does do this quite regularly, but does this because people fold and give him the money. So my advice in this situation was, for starters, you don't want to be doing telephone calls or text messages in this scenario. If he's told you he's going legal, your immediate first thing to do is to say that from this point forwards, everything needs to be done in writing. He's got your address, he can send you a letter. He can send you a letter outlining why he feels the vehicle is unroadworthy, what the faults are. And I said to my subscriber, if he does genuinely do that, you can then take it up with the garage that did the MOT, or VOSA if necessary, who monitor the MOT stations, and query why an unroadworthy vehicle was passed with just a note for corrosion on discs, because he's not a mechanic. So if anyone is at fault here, it's the MOT station, not our subscriber. And if I've heard of other situations where this has been done and the garage in question has actually paid for all the repairs to be done because it was found that they shouldn't have given that MOT pass. So until that chap provides you in writing a letter as to say what, effectively it's his letter before action to say what the issues are and what outcome he wants to have from it, then there's nothing more to be discussed. Now at this point, once you start people to put stuff in writing, as a general rule, a lot of them disappear quite quickly. So if you're in this scenario, one of my first pieces of advice is don't get into telephone calls, text message battles, Facebook message battles. Immediately say, right, you've said you're going legal with this. For my protection and for your protection, we need to do everything in writing here. Here's my address. Please send me a letter with your claim outlining the facts and where you wish to go forwards. So in this scenario, I'm suspecting the guy will disappear, and he's a bully who is just trying to bully our subscriber into giving him some cash. So yeah, like I said, with the UK law stands with a private sale, unless he misdescribed a vehicle, so within the text of his advert, or I guess within this call recording the guy has, he said something that's factually incorrect about the vehicle, then he would only have a claim against that specific thing. Other than that, the guy's got no claim at all. To say he's taken him to court straight away without a letter before action or providing any facts to what the faults are just shows that this guy doesn't really know what he's talking about. So I'll update you on what happens with this one in a future video, maybe in another story time in the chair for you. But I thought it might be worth covering that with a few of you in case you get in that situation. Again, I'm not a solicitor, I'm not legally trained, I can only talk from my personal experience, so you may wish to take your own advice if this scenario comes to you. But like I say, my biggest piece of advice is as soon as they talk about going legal, for your protection and for my protection, everything should be done in writing going forwards and deal with it in writing. But I don't think this guy's really, unless there's something I'm not being told in the detail of this, I don't think this guy's got a leg to stand on. Comment down below what your thoughts. If you had a situation like this, I'm sure some of you have. Obviously, again, I'm talking about private car sale situation here. The legalities around a trade sale is, well, there are certain things that are the same in as much as if someone's going to go legal, they do have to do a letter before action before they can go legal. But there are obviously other rules around a trade sale. This is specifically around a consumer sale. So yeah, have any of you experienced the same, bullies like this trying to do this? Or do you think I've got it wrong? Do you think perhaps there's more to this story than I'm hearing? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed story time. If you do, give the video a thumbs up, give me a comment down below and tell me you want to see more of them, because there's always lots of interesting stories fly around. If you've had interesting stories or you need help with anything, remember, bung me a message on that Instagram channel and I'll do my level best to get back to you all. Alright, as always, thanks for watching, catch you later, bye.